great to have you on the other side of the radio. It's time for us to push the conversation. Good afternoon, and you are welcome. I am Kala Dakurubatsabor, and this is Hard Facts. And of course, you know the frequency 92.3 Nigeria Info. We're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and we are active on X. And I don't know, today my conversations have been focused on governance, and I want to continue in that stead, in that line, in that direction. And right now, I want us to focus on the 2025 budget. Yesterday on the show, while we were having a discourse, remember, we were joined by the Commissioner for Information. And he told us, which of course was seconded by the lawyer in the studio yesterday, Livin Jamala. He told us that that there is a part of the Constitution that allows, for a four-man legislative assembly, and he argued that, God forbid that people died. What does that mean? And so in this case, it's similar because people had vacated their seats, although it's in court. We're not going to go into all of that today. But what I want to talk about is very simple. And it is the fact that whether there is the Martin Ameule led assembly or there is the Victor Okojumbo led assembly, there will be a budget for next year, just as we had the budget for this year. But now, whether it was passed correctly has been the argument. And we've seen the government of Rivers State, in the past few days, go from one location to another to commission or flag off projects. For instance, yesterday it was in Opobo, today it was in Bori. I'm talking about the Rivers State government now. Of course, the government was in Bori today. And, they did commission the Bori internal roads. And I've seen some, quite a few people, 1, 2, 3 people thereabouts sending messages and say, oh no, yes, we enjoy the roads, we enjoy all of that. But can we focus on other aspects of development in the state? And they talked about the past administration, doing similar things to what this administration is doing, constructing schools, building health facilities, build. And some people are saying, let's look at other directions. Now, if I remember vividly, I heard the governor one time say that 2025 will focus on, aspects of sectors like agriculture. It would focus on, other parts of, of the state, or the sectors of the state. However, I want to throw it to the people, because I've come to realize that many a times we've had leaders who felt, maybe we criticized them too hardly, but they felt they were doing rightly by us, and they felt like the projects that they were building for us were great projects that we would appreciate. But then they only found out that what greeted them at the end of the day was, the criticism of the people. So I'm really thinking, and I'm wondering, what are the things that the government should focus on in 2025? A few days from now, we've got about 14 days. In 2 weeks, we will be in a new year. And the question is, what should be the focus of the Rivers State government? So let's help the Rivers State government. I guess the budget for 2025 must be at the finishing stage, because I really would love to think and believe that in the coming days, the government would approach the assembly it favors, which of course is the Victor Okojumbo Assembly, and it would want to pass a budget. I also remember some time ago, the chief of staff had said, that's Edison Ayer, had said that the 2025 budget will be passed before the Victor Okojumbo led assembly. It's really going to be a topic for discuss when it happens. We will look at the legality, the intricacies and all of that, but that's not the focus once again right about now. The focus is about what should be the focus. It's time for us to now have a people inclusive government. It's one thing to say Rivers first, it's another thing to actually include the people in governance. So the people should have their say, the people must have their say. And so I'm hoping that with this conversation, the people can have their say. So what do you think? And I need it to be practical. I'm going to borrow the words of the finance minister on, local government financial autonomy, practical impediment. I need that practical impediment to be eradicated, and we have a practical budget, a practical plan for Rivers State come 2025. And it's so interesting because I do know that people are listening from the different parts of Rivers State. I've got people listening from Imbiama. I've got people listening from Oyigbo. I've got people listening from Abalama, Buguma, Omerelu, different parts, Burukiri. And so of course I can be everywhere at the same time, and the fact that people are listening from different parts can help us arrive at what the state needs urgently, really quickly. So I want to get your thoughts. What should be the focus? And I'm passionate about this because I feel governors in Nigeria should have in 2024 gone beyond the peripheries, the gimmicks, the political shenanigans. It should have gone beyond all of these, and it should have gone into practical development. I like to think that there's some things that are practical developments. I remember having a conversation one time with one Dr. Hosford, and he asked a very big question. We go for commissionings and we appraise some projects, and we clap our hands and we say, oh, wonderful, marvelous, great projects. But in honest assessments of these projects, what really is the level of impact when compared to the money spent on those projects, the impact on the people, of course? And so we've seen some of these projects, and great projects, by the way, projects that we need, but what is the impact? And I will never forget one time, I think in 2018 or thereabout, or 2017, when there was the talk about rail transportation and how much we had invested in rail transportation, and I remember saying, is that what we needed at the time? Fast forward to many years later, look at what my arguments, my arguments have become real, because I was of the opinion, imagine if we had put those monies into practical development, those monies would have birthed more monies, more funds, and that we could have built as many rail stations as possible. But what do I know? So I'm going to go to the phone lines because I don't know much. I'm going to want to hear from you. I want to hear your opinions. I want to get your thoughts. 2025 budget is, usually we wait for the budgets to come before we talk about it. But can we talk about the budget before it comes? Hopefully, we can be able to impute one or two, like we say in our parlance, into the budget, the budgeting for 2025. So in your opinion, looking at Rivers State, or where you are in Rivers State, what do you think the budget should focus on? Of course, we've got many data. We've got unemployment data at a high. We've got investment data not too good as well, talking about foreign or investment from other places. We need to attract more. We've seen some of these things. Agriculture is also a cause for concern. So this to mention a few as captured by newspapers in 2024. But in your opinion, you live practically in Rivers State, you do business practically in Rivers State, what do you think should be the focus of the Rivers State government come 2025? All right, enough of me talking. Let's now start with one or two calls before my first commercial break. 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, and 0817 923 0007. WhatsApp number 0809 0306 what say you? I'd like to hear from you. What should be the focus? What should we as a state look at? I'm looking at Akwa Ibom. and I could use them as an example because they are neighbors. And I remember one time, they focused on investing on road infrastructures, and you saw, I think that was during Akpabio's time, and then the next government I felt is the attention was the airline, and of course we saw the Ibom Air. I mean, they've had focuses, and I guess investments and revenue generations. That was their focus. I'm wondering what should be our focus in Rivers State. 92.3 Nigerian for your name, your location, and your contribution.
Hello, again.
This is Kalada.
Father, sorry. Good evening. I think the government of Rivers State should focus more on creation of jobs.
Creation. How are they going to create those jobs?
I think civil servants to create the jobs.
I can. You need to be audible. I can hear you.
Are you getting me? The tertiary institutions, there should be employment and agriculture. Yes, there should be employment in that area. And I believe that as now, what first needs now is agriculture, because the people are hungry. The people are hungry. So if there are manpower in that area of agriculture, I think it will go a long way.
Okay, so how? Okay, like I said, I want practical contributions. When you say agriculture, how are they going to get agriculture? You said how? Just can you expatiate? Can you expound on that?
Okay, when I say agriculture, we are talking about if we put into rice farming, we go into plantation. At least I've gone to the market. I tried a bunch of plantain. The cost of plantain was very high. Actually, if the state government will venture into plantation, just like what we have something like that in some of the local government. After the one, at least it will also employment.
All right. I've got to go. I've got to get other people's thoughts. I've got Ezekiel. Ezekiel, welcome. What is on your mind? What's happening to
next year budget, the government should focus on what I call zonal establishment of factories and industries.
What kind of factories? I can hear you, Ezekiel. Ezekiel, I can hear you. I still can't hear you, Ezekiel.
Establishment of the establishment of factories and industries in the areas where the site should be established, like zonal areas. We have Ahuda, Gori, Emwahwa, and the Omok. All these areas are where we have land to establish factories and industries to create more employment for the youth. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Ezekiel. Thank you, Ezekiel. And this message says, I can help the Rivers State government because it is not my job to help him. That's why he has advisors and commissioners. If they can help him, then I'm sorry for him. Maybe he employ them to praise him daily. And as from Ojibo. And as you see, that's the reason why we have the problems we have in our country, Nigeria, because these people are supposedly working for us. But I do have a commercial. When I do come back, you and I will talk some more. Just stay tuned.
Stay with us, Nigeria.
So 92.3 Nigeria Info. We're looking at the 2025 budget. The focus is on River State. And I'm of the opinion that the budget should be at the finishing stage. And I'm asking the question, and I'm hoping you can join the conversation. What should the focus be? What should the budget concentrate on? What should the budget be about? What sectors, for River State to be practically developed like I like to think it should? As the treasure base of the nation, what areas and sectors should the government of River State focus on and budget on? Because the budget is like a plan. The budget is like, this is what I intend to achieve. This is what the state should achieve. And so maybe we can set a common goal for the state. And so what are your thoughts? 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp number 0809-030-6416. Okay, I'm going to the phone lines now. Maybe before I do, I would read some messages. Walex says, greetings to you, Kalada. I can excuse the Honorable Commissioner, but that's not my focus. Yet again, that's not my focus. I'm moving on. This one says, it is not the place of River State government to build factories. They can create the right environment for private investment to thrive. The best they can do is to go into partnership with serious private investors. The government can develop industrial clusters providing basic needs like good roads and reliable electricity. Pastor Daibi thinks that way, creating conducive environment by building good roads and all of that stuff, electricity and all of that stuff. Do you agree? But I love when people say government should build factories. My question is, who will manage the factories? The government should give loans, real loans, like the program GEJ gave to Nigerians under UWIN. That should be done in River State in specific sectors like agriculture, IT, and they should be monitored regularly. But Andy, the government is doing that, right? But let's come here. Robin is calling from HA. Robin, welcome. I know you like such conversations. Let's get your thoughts, please.
Good evening.
Yeah, welcome, Robin.
Kalada, I grew up in this state, and I'm aware at a certain time, River State government owns fishing trawlers. Where are the trawlers?
Robin, those trawlers were given to some people to manage. It was like an empowerment, program or thingy.
Let me come. All
right, I'm listening.
I'm not an expert in agriculture, but I understand if the River State government, just like the message you read on PPP, public-private partnership, is possible to procure those trawlers once again, so that those trawlers can be deployed to the deep seas of the Atlantic Ocean. This is River State. I wonder how we are not thinking. Fishing trawlers, that sector alone will create more than 1,000 direct job opportunities, more than 5,000 indirect. Why are we not looking at that light? Why do we feel that governance is brick and mortar? And we are shouting and we are clapping hands. Should we be clapping hands at a road that is being built and is commissioned 2024, Nigeria, River State? Now, do you know that, Kalada, that Piggy, as I speak to you, pig, there used to be a man that come from Imo State, sourcing for pig. Sometimes the man comes with 50 million naira. He cannot buy off pig of 5 million naira. I don't know what we are doing here.
All right. I've got to go.
Agriculture, we've been shouting about Songhai Farm. The Commissioner of Information was telling us that the committee is doing this, is doing that. How many months does it take mushroom to grow? How many months does it take vegetable to grow?
Okay,
how many months does it take grass water to grow?
Robin from HA. HA is known for food production, so you're talking agriculture. Well, let's go to Lawson, who is in Yenigua. Lawson, I wonder what your contribution would be. Welcome. Yeah. Greetings.
It's not perfect what you are asking. Yesterday, the governor was at Upubu commissioning the road and that 7-kilometer roads and all that. And he was even talking about investing in Opobo. I don't think that's what is needed. There are too many schools already in Rivers State. Now that Opobo, Anthony, Nkoro, Asi, just as Robin is saying, you can set up a fishing industry. Definitely private, public-private partnership. Set up those fishing trawls and all that, and create a huge fishing industry in that Opobo, Anthony, Nkoro, Asi. That's what it does. As he said, it will employ a lot of people. So we should be looking towards things that infrastructures that will employ Rivers people.
Right.
The unemployment rate in Rivers State is large, it's huge, it's big. A lot of Rivers youth are unemployed.
Listen. Talking about unemployment, will Rivers people want to venture into agriculture as a source of employment, given that everybody wants to live in big houses and all of that stuff?
You said what? I didn't get
Yeah, please turn off your radio. Turn off your radio, please. I'm saying, do you think Rivers people, you're talking agriculture just like Robin did, but do you think Rivers people will want to do agriculture as, employment, given everybody wants to ride in fancy cars and live in big houses?
I think they don't get it, but what I'm saying is it will employ Rivers people. Right now, we should be looking at things that will employ Rivers people.
All right then.
The Rivers businesses that have gone moribund, it should revive them. The buildings that Rivers State had so many businesses back then, including a bank.
Okay.
The bank building is still there.
All right, Lawson, I've got
I don't even know what they are using it for right now.
Okay.
You use those ones. Then in the agriculture, we're talking about the cassava processing at Oyibo. Yes, that's where it is. It's there. It's happening there.
All right, Lawson, I've got to go. Thank you. Let's read this message. It says the government is not doing that. Giving people 300,000 to run a table market business won't grow the Rivers economy. What can you produce with 300,000 or manufacture with 300,000? Okay, I get your argument now. This one says the 2025 budget should cover agriculture, employ more hands into school to land from Adamaya firm and improve it, Digama palm oil plantation, Bori palm oil farm, Magoni plantation, etc., industrialization, monobono. What's that? What did you say? What's monobone refinery? What's that? Monobone refinery within Akokotoros. It says skills program such as fashion, furniture, tech institutions in the state. He said revive Rivers State seaport, bring in more investors, improve education, research. Wariboko BG. But seaport is not under the jurisdiction of the state government, right? And this one says, Roger Sukabi from Morabelli, Governor Simfabara, please think outside road construction and consider fishing trawlers to make fish available to previous love for Rivers people. All right, let's come here. I missed that one. Do call back if you can. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, and 0817-923-0007. 92.3 Nigerian for your name, your location, your contribution. Hello. All right, the phone lines are not clear enough. Let's come here. 92.3 Nigerian for your name, your location.
Canada.
Yeah, welcome. Introduce yourself, please.
Good evening.
Yeah, welcome.
Canada. The governor has said it that 2025 budget will be anchored on three cardinal areas: agriculture, healthcare, and education. And based on the report by some organizations at the time, that more than 95% of the schools are dilapidated.
Okay.
It means there will be more money pumped into the schools to refurbish the school and put it in better use, right? That means lots of people will be employed in the process of rehabilitating and building new schools. True of course.
All right.
For the healthcare, doctors will be employed, nurses will be employed, med lab will be employed, and all those put together massively into those areas. Don't also forget that all those mass employment who are employing 10,000, this 10,000 will not be, because people will be employed based on needs assessment at the end of the day. Then the mother of them all, which is agriculture, can take a whole lot of people that has already been earmarked for the 2025 budget. So when people talk about agriculture, this, that, maybe they didn't follow when the governor was saying this. So
no, JJ, I've listened to you.
I'm listening.
So our conversation is practical. Yes, he mentioned
I
that.
know.
We've been talking about
Yes.
agriculture even way before this governor, even at the national scale. We've been talking about
I'm
agriculture
telling you
even.
what the governor said
But yet
directly.
again.
2025 budget will be key into these three areas.
I've heard you, and we're now saying practically. I mean, what is practicable in just modern words? If you say agriculture,
Now,
what
practically-
kind of agriculture? So that's what we've been talking
Now,
about.
yes. Now, this is it. Sometimes ago, about 3-4 months ago, some people from Austria, they came and they want to involve in serious fish farming and
Okay.
security.
Okay.
And made the security of the waterways, right? So you're partnering with them. I think some Canadians too came about agriculture, fishing, and all those put together. Then for the healthcare, you already see what the super commissioner is doing.
I've got to go,
What he's
JJ.
doing already. So for me, I think people should just cross their finger and stay back, sip their juice, and wait for the governor
All right.
to work his wonders.
All right. Thank you very much. I've got to go. We'll talk about this and more when we come back from the other side of the news. Just stay tuned.